This is the Gamesir T4 Pro controller, compatible with basically everything under the sun. PC, Xbox, PS4, Nintendo Switch, iPhones, Android phones, and even my car stereo. It costs about $40, but I see it regularly go on sale for about $30, and here are my thoughts. I found this controller to fit fairly well in my hands. It is on the smaller side, which is perfect for me, but if you have, monster-sized hands, this will probably be a tiny bit small for you. Quality-wise, the controller is made out of, hard plastic, so it doesn't feel super premium compared to, the Xbox and the PS4 Elite controller or the DualShock controller, but this is super duper light. So the joysticks here feel okay. They're pretty snappy, so I don't really have any complaints about them there. The buttons though, the A, B, X, Y buttons and the D-pad, they're kind of loud. So I'm gonna click on them and you just listen to how loud they are. I can definitely hear them click while I'm playing a game. Not too big of an issue. All right, moving on to the shoulder buttons. The shoulder buttons here are, well, they're okay. They're a little bit mushy as I depress them. They don't depress as crisply as I would like, but again, this is a fairly minor thing. Finally, there's extra buttons here, M1, M2, M3, and M4 buttons. And while this is a good concept, honestly, the way they implemented it was stupid, really, really stupid. Let me show you why. Because unless you go change the button mapping, M1 is mapped to B, M2 to A, M3 to Y, and M4 to X, which means that if you accidentally hit these buttons, and they are pretty easy to hit, it means you're going to accidentally trigger these when you did not mean to. And it means that if you do, you could accidentally lose your game. The good thing is that you can remap them pretty easily, but it's just so dumb that the defaults are A, B, X, Y. I just think that's a really stupid idea. There's also a turbo button which you can use, which is basically a macro that mashes buttons for you so you can win. They actually help you cheat, and it actually works. So again, no complaints on the turbo button. Finally, the vibration. The vibration motor is actually pretty decent. I'll let you listen to it because you can't really feel it well. The vibrations don't feel, as tight as, the Xbox Elite, obviously, but again, honestly, it's good enough for me. And again, you can turn the vibrations up and down by holding the turbo button and then clicking down on the D-pad and up on the D-pad, and there's about 5 settings for you there. You are also supposed to be able to adjust the brightness of the controller LEDs and even turn it off, but the instruction manual, like the key combos they gave me, just didn't work. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm pretty happy with the brightness of the LEDs as they are now, and I'll ask them later what the actual key combos are to turn this up and down. They said it was L2, R3, and L3, and then up and down, but see how it's not working? So yeah, whatever. So you can actually use this port over here to have a wired connection to your computer. I haven't tried it, but because everything is wireless nowadays, but apparently you can. So the battery life in this is about 600 milliamp hours, and according to the user manual, it takes about 1.5 to 2 hours to fully charge this thing. I've used this for about 8 hours, and I haven't even discharged this thing yet. The battery life indicator hasn't come on. I'm expecting around 10 to 12 hours yet, which is actually pretty good. So first I tested this with my PC. I plugged the USB into my PC, and then I turned on the controller in PC mode by holding down the X button and the home button until the controller turns on. And when it blinks fast here, it means that it's pairing, and when the light goes steady, it means that it is ready to go. So we're just gonna wait for it to go steady, and it takes a couple of seconds, and then it's good to go. Come on, let's go. There we go. solid light, which means it's ready to go. So I tried 3 games here: Borderlands the pre-sequel, GTA 5, as well as Need for Speed Rivals. All great games, by the way. I absolutely adore using this controller for Need for Speed Rivals and, you know, racing games in general. It's honestly a better experience than mouse and keyboard, obviously. So I absolutely adore using this controller for GTA 5 for driving. It's so much easier than the mouse and keyboard. Again, GTA 5 was designed around a controller instead of a mouse and keyboard. However, shooting, I don't prefer it so much. I still like my mouse and keyboard better for shooting for GTA 5. When it comes to, again, Borderlands, driving works great. I love it. Shooting, not so much. It's just not as precise as a mouse and a keyboard. That being said, the controller does work. As you can see, I got a couple of headshots here and there, or critical shots on this super weird looking monster. So it does, you know, you still can get headshots, it's just a lot harder. So to pair this to your Android or your iPhone, again, the back of the controller has the button combos to turn it on in the correct mode. A plus home for Android and B plus home for iOS. And then you can also attach the phone holder and play some games. The good thing about this is when I was playing Dead Trigger, the only setup I had to do was to map the right trigger to shoot. For some reason it didn't map, but all the other buttons, you know, reload, walking, jumping, all the other buttons worked out of the box. Oh, funny thing is, I even paired this to my Android car stereo and played some Asphalt Extreme while I was driving. Just kidding, I didn't do when I was driving, and don't do that, please. Finally, switch pairing was actually even easier. Turn it on by pressing Y and home. And once it's on, go to the controller section and follow the instructions on your Switch. Change grip order. Press L and R on the controller. And you're gonna hear it vibrate. There we go. See? Easy. The one thing to note is that when you connect this to your Switch, your AB buttons are actually reversed. As you can see, the Switch buttons are BA instead of AB, so it automatically switches it so that it matches your Switch. I don't know if you actually want that or not, but it works. So if I can just start playing Super Smash Brothers. So in conclusion, I'm actually pretty happy with this controller. It works very well and does everything it says it does, with the exception of adjusting the LED brightness, but you know what? Whatever. Again, because it's a cheap unit, the plastic body and the button feedback isn't the highest quality, but you know what? It's definitely good enough. So if you want to buy this, check out the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one.